When you're starting out with AI, the hardest part isn't using it, it's knowing where to begin, because there are hundreds of tools and most either want your card or overcomplicate everything. After going through pretty much every free AI tool out there, I put together a small starter kit that costs nothing and is easy enough to use today. So I'm going to walk you through each one, what it's best for, and the order to pick them up, starting with the single tool I'd tell anyone to open first. The first tool to start with is Gemini, and it's the closest thing to an all-in-one assistant you can get. It's completely free, you sign in with a Google account you almost certainly already have, and there's no card and no trial counting down in the background. That alone is a big part of why it's the easiest one to start with. Most other assistants either put their better models behind a paywall or make you create a brand new account before you can do anything. Gemini is already sitting on the Google login you use for email, so there's nothing to set up and nothing to pay before you get going. From there, you can ask it just about anything. To show you how easy it is, I'll type, "Write a polite professional email, pushing a deadline back a week, with a short apology and 2 new dates," and a few seconds later, the whole thing is written and ready to send. It also reads your files, so I'll upload a long PDF I haven't gone through, maybe a lease or a report, and ask what the 3 things in here are that I really need to pay attention to. Instead of reading 20 pages, I get the answer in a few lines, and it isn't only text. I can ask it to make an image too, so I'll ask for a picture of a cozy reading nook next to a rainy window, and it generates it right there in the same chat. And if typing isn't your thing, you can just talk to it, because Gemini Live lets you have a proper back and forth out loud, like asking a friend who happens to know everything. So with one free login, you've got something that writes, explains, reads your files and photos, makes images, and talks back, which is exactly why it's the first tool I'd put in anyone's hands. The only real catch on the free version is a daily cap on the heavier requests, and for normal use, you'll rarely hit it. If your work ever gets seriously heavy down the line, Claude is the paid tool worth graduating to, but that is not where a beginner starts. Gemini is brilliant for quick questions and the odd file, but when you've got a stack of your own material you actually need to learn from and keep coming back to, a general assistant starts to lose the thread, and that's the next tool's entire job. The second tool is NotebookLM. It's also from Google. It's also free, and it's the one almost nobody bothers to tell beginners about. It's built around one idea, learning from your own documents. Instead of asking it general questions, you hand it your stuff, and then everything it tells you comes straight from what you gave it. That last part is why it's the easiest tool of its kind to trust. Other apps that let you chat with your documents usually want some setup first, and they'll happily wander off and invent an answer when they don't actually know. NotebookLM only answers from the sources you upload, and it shows you where each answer came from, so you don't have to be technical about any of it. So I'll drop in a few PDFs, say a set of client documents, and it reads through every page. Then I'll ask something specific, like what this contract says about canceling early, and it gives me the answer along with the exact line it pulled it from, so I can jump straight to that spot and check it myself. I can also ask it to turn that same material into a study guide or a set of practice questions with answers, which is the kind of thing that takes hours to make by hand. The part that surprises people is the audio overview. With one click, it takes everything I just uploaded and turns it into a short podcast. 2 AI voices actually talking through my material back and forth that I can listen to on a walk or on the way to work. For a student studying for an exam, or anyone trying to get through a dense report without reading every word, that is a huge help, and again, it costs nothing. It takes more than PDFs too, so you can feed it a YouTube video or a web page and have the whole thing explained back to you in plain language. And it isn't even limited to what you upload, because it now has a deep research mode that goes out and reads through 100 or more websites on a question for you, then hands back an organized sourced report you can drop straight into your notebook. The free version is generous enough that you'll rarely come close to the ceiling, and if you somehow do, the cheap paid Google plan just lifts the limits. But you'll get a very long way without ever paying. So between your own files and the open web, NotebookLM has the research side covered. Everything so far has been about taking information in, but the next tool does the opposite, because it takes an idea and turns it into something real you can put online. The third tool builds you a real working website just by talking to it, and you never write a single line of code. It's called Lovable, it's free to start with no card, and it's built for people who have never made anything like this before. Most website builders still drop you in front of a blank template and leave you to work out the rest, which is exactly where beginners give up. Lovable does the opposite, because you describe the site you want in plain words, and it builds the whole thing for you, the layout, the writing, the images, and the design in a couple of minutes. So I'll describe what I want, a one-page portfolio site with my work, a short bio, and a contact form, and it puts the entire thing together in front of me. Then I'll ask for changes the same way I'd say them out loud. So I'll tell it to make the header bigger and switch everything to a dark theme, and it updates the site instantly. And the hardest part is usually still ahead of you, because getting a website actually online normally means fighting with hosting and servers and a pile of confusing settings just to get it live. With Lovable, you click one button and your site goes live on the web in seconds, on a free address you can send to anyone straight away. There's nothing to download, nothing to install, and no setup anywhere, because Lovable hosts the whole thing for you. The free plan is enough to build a real site and get it online today, and the only thing you ever pay for is putting it on your own custom web address later on. Building your own website used to be the most intimidating thing on this entire list, and now it's just a conversation. So your site's online, but now you'll want the graphics to go with it, like a logo and some posts to share it around, and that's exactly what the next tool is for. Canva is the easiest way to turn an idea into something that looks designed, even if you have never made a graphic in your life. Proper design software like Photoshop costs money and takes weeks to get comfortable with. Canva runs in your browser, it's free to start, and it does the hard part for you, which is what makes it the easiest way in for someone with no design background. The AI side of it is the part that matters here, and it's called Magic Design. I'll describe what I want in plain words, say a poster for a weekend bake sale, and it lays out a finished version for me, with the text, the colors, and the spacing already handled. From there, I can swap a word or change things around, but the part most people find hard, making it look intentional instead of thrown together, is already done. If I'm stuck on what to actually write, there's Magic Write built in, and if I need a custom image instead of a stock one, I can describe it and have Canva generate it, then drop it into the layout without leaving the page. A raw AI image on its own is just a picture, but what you usually want is the finished designed thing, and that's exactly what Canva gives you. A layout you can turn into social posts, simple thumbnails, flyers, or even slides, all from one place. You can do all of this on the free plan, and while the heaviest AI features have monthly caps, what's included is plenty for a beginner making something to share today. Those first 4 tools all save you time on one task at a time, but the last one is a different kind of useful, because it saves you time on the things you do over and over, and it does them while you're not even sitting there. Make is the one tool here that levels you up, because instead of doing a single task for you, it runs tasks automatically, on its own, in the background. This is what people mean when they talk about automating the boring stuff. And the best part is you never write a single line of code. Doing this by hand normally means writing code. One tool called Zapier keeps it simple but gets expensive fast, and another called N8N is powerful but really built for technical people. Make sits right in the middle, because you build everything by dragging boxes around and joining them up so you can see exactly what's happening, and it's free to start. The way it works is simple to picture. You connect 2 of the apps you already use, and you tell Make, when this happens, do that. So I'll set up one easy example. Every time an email lands with a file attached, Make saves that file straight into a folder in my Google Drive automatically every single time without me touching anything. Once it's set up, it just runs, quietly handling something you used to do by hand. Here's a second one that's just as common, so when someone fills out a form, Make can drop their details into a spreadsheet and send me a quick notification in the same moment, so nothing gets missed and I never copy anything across by hand. You can even slot AI into the middle of these, so an incoming message gets summarized automatically and the short version lands wherever you want it. That same idea stretches to all kinds of small repetitive jobs, sorting things, sending yourself reminders, moving information from one app into another, and everyone you set up is time you get back permanently. Make is free to start, with enough room to build and run a few simple automations while you get the hang of it. It's the easy visual way into automation, and if you get hooked and want more control later on, N8N is the natural step up, but Make is where you begin. These free tools get you in the door, but how much you get out of them comes down to how well you use them. That's what my Skool community is for, taking you from complete beginner to genuinely fluent, step by step. The link to join is in the description, and I'll see you inside. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.